Last week, Bungie posted their exotic and ability tuning post. We went over this when it came out last week. You can find that video on my channel. I'm pretty sure it's the last video I posted, but I sat down and I read it a few times after that, and I finally figured out which exotics I am truly excited about and the ones that I could see making their way into our rotation of meta exotics for PvE, all depending on the artifact that we're going to get. I picked my top 2 from each list that they gave us, and I give my thoughts on where they're going to be good, how they're going to be good, ways to make them better. So like, comment, and subscribe as it helps me out a ton, and let's have a quick word from our sponsor. Starting with hunters, we're going to take a look at Lucky Raspberry, which comes with the trait Probability Matrix. Increases the chaining capability of the Arc Bolt grenade and has a chance to recharge it each time it deals damage. A full chain always recharges. This exotic is currently okay. I feel like it is greatly overshadowed by Shinobu's Vow when it comes to Arc Hunter grenade builds, but with the changes coming next season, it could very easily rival Shinobu's Vow. It will keep its trait in its entirety when it comes to the chaining of the Arc Bolt and getting it back, alongside the ability to get additional grenade energy from damaging enemies with the lightning strikes from the jolted effect and ionic traces, meaning we should have a very steady stream of Arc Bolt grenades to throw. They will also now intrinsically stun Overload champions, and that makes me believe that they're going to apply Jolt without the help from the Fragment. In activities with high density mobs, this exotic is going to shine extremely well. Paired alongside weapons with Demo and even Volt Shop, we should be able to sling tons of Arc Bolt grenades at whatever we want, and the ability to stun Overload champions means that they are going to have a very good place in high-end content. The other exotic that we're going to look at for hunters, the one that I am most excited for, is going to be Faux Tracer, which currently comes with the trait Relentless Tracker. Visually marks targets, deals more damage to low health marked targets, provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons. This particular stat is getting moved to Knucklehead Radar and getting replaced with a form of Monochromatic Maestro. Monochromatic Maestro was an artifact perk from a few seasons ago. When you deal damage with one of your abilities, you gain a damage bonus with weapons that have damage types matching your subclass damage type. Additionally, when you defeat an enemy you've damaged with one of your abilities, either with another ability or with a weapon with a damage type matching your subclass type, you will spawn one of the collectible objects associated with your subclass, such as an Ionic Trace or a Fire Spray. This is going to be an amazing general use exotic with any of our hunter subclasses, as we have an easy way to make our specific subclass drops, which can lead into some very good build synergy moving forward, and allows us to play more into these particular drops with mods like Elemental Charge, and even just getting the benefits of these particular things, like for example Void Breach giving us class energy, Fire Sprites giving us grenade energy. It's going to be extremely well, and I think this exotic is going to be one of the better exotics moving forward with this change. For Titans, they're going to change a few exotics. You have things like Doomfang Pauldrons, Icefall Manals, Path of the Burning Steps, and Eternal Warriors. These are all going to get that escalating tier 4 weapon surge damage bonus depending on their subclass, but the one I'm specifically excited for is Doomfang Pauldrons, which comes with the trait Horns of Doom. Void melee kills give super energy, while Sentinel Shield is active, melee kills recharge shield throw, which extends your super on hits. This exotic, alongside of those ones that I just mentioned, are getting that ability for that escalating damage bonus with weapons, which is a non-stacking weapon surge bonus. The cool thing is that for Doomfang, we're going to be getting that with Void weapons, meaning we're going to get that 4-stack of Void Weapon Surge, and our Void weapons are going to deal 25% damage as we get rapid Void kills. However, while we get a melee kill, we're then going to get that max stack of the 4x surge bonus, meaning we can play into this exotic's already really strong benefit of Void melee kills giving us additional super energy, and now we're also going to get that ×4 bonus to deal 25% damage with our Void weapons when we get that melee kill. So this is a very good synergy, and it's something I'm very excited for. I'm also very excited for like Icefall Manals and Path of the Burning Steps and Eternal Warrior. However, I'm not a big fan of, for example, Icefall Manals having to pop that barricade and becoming super slow. Path of the Burning Steps is going to be better now that we can get a grenade kill to proc that, and with Eternal Warrior, again, I'm not a big fan of having to burn my entire super to get that escalating damage all the way up to ×4. So I think the winners for this are really going to be Doomfang Pauldrons, and it is going to be Path of the Burning Steps, but I'm more excited for Doomfang as I prefer to run Void Titan. So this is definitely a choice that I'm going to be making for a build next season, even if there are no artifact perks that play into our Void subclass. For the exotic I am most excited for when it comes to our Titan is definitely going to be Hollow Fire Harp, which comes with the trait Sunfire Furnace. Improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, greatly improves recharge rate while your super is charged, provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stats of all weapons. They said that they're going to be removing the improved recharge rate of our solar abilities from this exotic, but now it is going to play heavily into sunspots. Sunspots are already very good in a lot of different parts of the game, so getting an exotic that plays into them more, aside from things like Phoenix Cradle, is going to be an amazing addition to the Solar Titans roster of exotics to use. I love Hollow Fire Harp. It is already one of my favorite exotics for Solar Titans. It was actually one of the first Titan builds I ever made because I really liked it, but like they said even in the blog post, it is greatly overshadowed by Heart of Inmost Light, and I believe that is a problem with a lot of Titan builds. A lot of Titan builds are like, hey, I make grenades better. Okay, but why not Hollow Fire Heart? I've said this a million times over. Hollow Fire Heart ruins the idea, the fantasy for other Titan exotics to shine. But hopefully with this is going to give us another reason to use Hollow Fire Heart and play heavily into our sunspots. Warlocks, in my opinion, you probably got the best changes for all the exotics that were listed that they gave. So I'm only going to pick two. So we're going to start with Geomag Stabilizers, which comes with the trait Close Enough. Damaging targets with Chaos Reach extends its duration. Very simple. This used to have the added benefit of sprinting to top off your super, but got removed due to leading to some very interesting playstyles, and I believe in the article they posted last week, the exact word was silly playstyle. A large portion of the community, including myself, has been asking for that back, and Bungie said no. But what we can do is make it so Ionic Traces give you additional super energy when picked up, which is a great idea considering back to when our subclasses were in the diamonds, Ionic Traces were exclusive to Chaos Reach. And this makes it so we can get that increased super energy any time that we need, whether it be at the very beginning or right at the end to top us off. I think that adding Ionic Traces to this particular exotic is great and plays very well into the identity of our Arc Warlocks. And finally, for my Warlocks, the thing that I am most excited for, which is very weird, is going to be Asyverse, which comes with the trait Move to Survive. Blink further and more frequently, weapons ready quickly out of blink and radar remains up. Provides a moderate benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons. This is now going to make targets volatile when you blink near them, which is going to be massive benefit playing into our Void subclass. And now when wearing this helmet, the Dark Blink ability from the Nova Warp Super will no longer consume energy, allowing us to fully use that movement ability in any activity, whether that be in PvE or PvP. I am not a Blink Warlock guy. I am terrible with Blink, either on my Warlock or my Hunter. I am terrible with it. But this makes me excited, as it gives us added functionality to an exotic that most people are just going to write off or just use for very specific movement things inside of PvP. Now, inside of PvE, we're going to have the ability to make things volatile. And from a standpoint from PvP, that's also going to be insane, is now people, when you rush people with Blink, like for example the ever so classic Blink shotgun, you're going to blink near them, they're going to become volatile, you're going to shoot them with your shotgun, and if there's anybody nearby, that volatile is then going to spread. It is going to be amazing. But that is my list for the 6 exotics from that list they gave us last week that I'm really excited for. Now, this obviously does not include the new exotics that we should be getting for the next season, but this is kind of a look into what we're going to be looking at next season when it comes to builds for the most part. I don't think I'm going to do a Geomags build, as that build isn't too crazy, and I've already done a build for it this past season. But everything else on this list, odds are, it's going to be getting some form of build video. So you're going to see a lot of build videos from me in the beginning of this next season, because I already have a list of things I want to try. I'm going to get the new exotics, and I'm actually going to make builds and reviews for them, unlike this past season, because the only build / exotic that was good in my eyes was Cenotaph Mask, and that one is extremely simple. There really is no build for it. Just pull out a trace rifle, point, shoot, make heavy ammo. But that is that for the video, so like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps me out a ton, especially with these videos that are more opinionated. So check those links down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.